This month, we're going to turn our guitar into a fully electric version. By making it electric, it will not only be louder, but it will also allow us to do things so we can change the sound of the guitar. To turn it into an electric guitar, we're going to have to add what we call a pickup. A pickup is just a magnet wrapped in a bunch of wire. A pickup literally picks up and converts the vibrations in the string into electrical vibrations that we can use to drive a speaker. Basically, when the string passes by the magnet, it disturbs and changes the magnetic field surrounding the magnet. Because the magnet is surrounded by a wire coil, this changing magnetic field creates a voltage in the pickup that behaves just like the vibrating string. These voltages that are created in the pickup are so small that we have to add an amplifier so that we can get enough power to drive a speaker. But this is cool because we can take a tiny amount of sound and make it extremely loud. Enough talk, let's get building. First we're going to build a pickup winder. To start, we'll join our two black plates with two of the smallest dowels. Next, attach our two larger gears. We're going to use an 1.5 inch long dowel and connect them like this on the end of the plates. It doesn't really matter where you install it. I'm going to install mine here. Remember, you can color the dowel with a crayon to make it easier to install the gears. Put the smaller of the two gears on the right hand side. These gears should be able to spin free. If they don't, loosen them up a bit. Then push the smallest gear onto a dowel that's roughly 2 3/4 inches long. Push this gear on until it's about 1.25 inches from one side. Install this gear somewhere that it will engage the large gear. I'm going to put mine here. Cut a piece of slide stop roughly 1/2 inch long and slip it on the outside of the dowel to hold the small gear in place like this. Push a 2.5 inch dowel into one of the holes on the next to largest gear that will act as a handle. Cut a piece of slide stop 1/4 inch long and slide it up next to the smallest gear. Then slip the plastic bobbin on the dowel and cut a piece of slide stop 1/2 inch long and install it on the plastic bobbin. The 1/4 inch piece of slide stop and the 1/2 inch piece need to be tight against the bobbin to keep the bobbin from slipping on the dowel. The slide stop on the other side of the black plate from the gear can be a little loose so that the gear can rotate freely. Next, we're going to install the bobbin with the wire on it. With a 2 3/4 inch long dowel and 3 more pieces of slide stop 1/2 inch long, install a piece of slide stop about halfway down the dowel. Install the dowel on this side of the plate, really anywhere. Put a piece of slide stop on the other side of the black plate and hold it in place. Install the metal bobbin, then another piece of slide stop. All these pieces of slide stop should be tight so the bobbin is hard to rotate. This will make sure the wire wraps up tight on the plastic bobbin. Then slide a 2 inch dowel into one hole on your black block and slide your smallest remaining dowel into the other hole. This will act as a guide so that the wire will line up with the plastic bobbin. Secure it all in place with a 1/2 inch piece of slide stop on the back of the black plate. Now we're ready to wind the pickup. Pull the tape off the metal spool and feed the wire through the guide, then through one of the holes on the side of the bobbin. Pull out a couple of inches of wire and wrap it around the end of the dowel like this. Then begin winding. It doesn't matter which way, just make sure that it all winds up tight. You may have to tighten the slide stop around the metal bobbin. You can also ask your parents for help to guide the wire back and forth so it winds up evenly. The more even you wind, the better it will sound. Wind it until the bobbin is almost all the way full like this. Then cut the wire with a couple of inches unwound. Now let's tape around the bobbin to hold the wires in place. Then, once you have wound the tape, cut the excess tape off. Be careful not to cut the wires. Take a piece of sticky tack and place it over the hole, then push the magnet through the sticky tack. This will hold the magnet in place so it can't move around. We now have a finished pickup. Now we're going to install this pickup in the guitar. First, feed the 2 wires through the hole going through the neck. Then, slip the pickup into the hole. You may have to loosen the strings to get the pickup in the hole. Now slip a piece of tape over the pickup and pull it tight to hold the pickup in place so it doesn't move around. If it moves around, it won't pick up the sound as well. Then, retighten the strings on your guitar if you had to loosen them. Now let's hook this thing up. We'll need to install an amplifier because the voltage generated by the pickup is too little to drive the speaker. Using the little piece of sandpaper, fold it in half so that the sand side is facing each other, and pinch the wire and pull and remove the insulating coating off. You should keep sanding the wire until you see the coating is gone from the very end of the wire. You can tell the insulation is gone when the end of the wire looks a slightly different color. Then repeat this step for the other wire. Bend the end of the wire in half and push it into the end of one of the jumper wires. Then, with it pushed in, insert a plug to hold the wire in place. Repeat it for the other wire. With your 2 alligator clips, attach the stripped ends into the amplifier terminals. You may need to unscrew the terminals to insert the wires. Twist the end of the wire to make it easier to insert. Then, with the wire inserted, screw the terminal tight and make sure the wire is secured. Repeat for the other wire. Hook one of the pickup wires to the ground connection on the amp. It will be labeled GND. Attach the other wire to the connection that's labeled N. Install the battery in the battery pack. You may have to remove the screw from the battery pack. Then pop the battery in. Now hook the red wire of the battery to the VCC connection on the amplifier and the black wire of the battery pack to the other GND connection of the amplifier. Clip one wire to one of the speaker connections and one to the other. Now switch your battery pack on and try it out. You should be able to tell your middle string is the loudest. If you can't hear the speaker, try turning this little knob all the way in one direction, and then if that doesn't work, try turning it in the other direction. You should be able to put your finger on the speaker and feel it vibrate. You could even put a little drop of water on it and see how the water reacts when you pluck the string. Alright, now let's install all this inside the body of the guitar. Go ahead and turn off the battery pack and disconnect everything. We're going to mount the little speaker inside the box. You may have to open up the hole a little bit so that the speaker doesn't hit the box. Draw what you want to remove and ask an adult to open up the hole with a knife. Then, once you get it all cut out, stick it in place with 4 pieces of sticky foam. Be sure the connections are facing a direction that you can get the alligator clips on them. Feed the pickup wires through the slot and hook them up to the amplifier. Hook the battery pack up and with the sticky foam, tape it down to the box. tape the battery pack to the same side as the speaker. Switch it on, close the box, and go ahead and rock out. Ask your parents to share a picture of your finished build on our Facebook page so you can unlock your builder badge. Also, don't forget about the challenge. Most of all, have fun. We can't wait to see what you come up with.